the stream and restart it just in case. Good morning again, Ashburn fans. I'm going to say good morning again because I tried to connect to the stream. I've had issues of last couple games, as some of you may have noticed, where the app that I'm using, which is called Streamlabs, tells me I'm connected, but apparently it's not actually, or it's not actually working. There it goes. It shows somebody's actually watching the stream. We're still in warm-ups right now here at the Abingdon Ice Rink, playing tomorrow's ice. Got about 35 seconds left. So if there's anyone out there who has experience using Streamlabs with YouTube, I know one of the games yesterday, it said it was connected and streaming data, but no one was watching, which made me suspicious. And then when I went back to look at it, it had not actually started the YouTube stream. So this morning I had that same experience, but just during warm-ups I closed it out, restarted, and now it's showing that some people are connected. I'm not sure exactly what causes that, but possibly has something to do with the way I set the stream up when I schedule it in advance. Not sure, but either way, it looks like we're good to go now. We're just about to get started here. I believe Armand will be in goal. I speculated that there was some possibility, but that the coach might split them since between Luke and Armand. I don't know. It's up to the coach. Considering that Armand played these guys yesterday, there's 3 games this weekend. But it doesn't matter that much. It's goaltenders in these particular games haven't gotten a lot of action, so it's I'm not sure it matters. One of these days I will try and figure out what are the lines called. Luke sometimes refers to the red line versus the white line and blue line. I just know them by the players, and they're not always that consistent, so it not sure would add much to the commentary. Looks like Shane's taking the face off with Paul and Jack out there on wing. Kyle and Mason on D. After the drop, tomorrow's ice is going to come up with possession. Move it through their backfield nicely, through center ice. And then they have to get past Mason, which he boxed him up into the corner, put some pressure on. They got it around him, back behind Armand's net. Comes back around the other side. Now that's Jack's got it. He gets it up out of the zone. They're going to turn it around, send it back. Mason will pick it up there. Across to Kyle. Kyle off the boards, up to Paul. Paul hits it into the offensive zone, but loses possession in the process. Tomorrow's ice sends it around behind the net to their player in the far corner. Jack putting some pressure on there with Shane right behind him and Paul hovering nearby. White comes up with it. That's tomorrow's ice. Got it down to the neutral zone where Jack backhands it back into the zone before we're going to do almost a complete line change while tomorrow's ice tries to do something. Would have been a nice opportunity for them. That's going to be an icing call. We had some of those plays yesterday. I felt like we were just dramatic while Sabres were trying to do a line change and just weren't expecting us to be able to get the puck from back behind our net up to the offensive zone and the amount of time it took. But that the puck can move fast if you already got somebody up there. Obviously. All right, off to the drop. Zach took the drop. Tim got it, turned it around, took a shot. Goalie deflected it wide. Possibly the defense. There's Zach up off the boards, up to Charlie. Charlie, slap shot, kicked away by the goalie. Bobby on the far side keeps it in play. He ends up squirting across to the corner where Tomorrow's Ice had clean possession, but the guy just stalled. Did not get control fast enough before we got some pressure on there. They did get it away, and obviously shifting to defense. White's got it in the corner. Bobby just took it away from him like the guy was hardly even there, but got stopped at their person at point, turned it around. They got what I guess was a shot. I mean, it was way over the net. And we're struggling. That's Bobby sending it up to Will. Will dumps it and heads to the bench. We're doing another line change. Long pass up to 85 here. But he just taps it and sends it off to nowhere where sends it over to us. All right, Landon and Brian and Joey are out there on offense at this point. That's Joey putting some pressure on. Couldn't quite get there in time, but Brian swoops in along the boards, takes possession, dumps to the corner. The two of them, Joey and Brian, both went to the corner. Brian sent it out. Greg stopped it. Sent it to the corner, the far corner. It's going to come back up. Spencer stops it just past the blue line, hands it off to Greg. Greg back to Spencer. Spencer tries to go long to Brian, but with defense it gets tapped away. Landon scrambling, and Brian coming in. We're going to do a line change surprisingly close to the puck, not deep in the back. All right, comes around. That's Jack. Across to Shane. Shane, nice stick handling. Off the boards into the corner. He'll go chase it from there. Jack loses an edge about the condition of the ice. Comes up to Kyle. Kyle's looking. Skates in a little bit. Takes a shot. Goalie will catch and hold. Score is 0-0 with 11 minutes 38 seconds left in the first period. Shows us as taking 2 shots to their 0. I think we've actually had more than that. But I'm not running the shot counter. I'm not paying that close attention. All right, after the drop, came back to Jack. Jack tried to send it in towards the net. I think it was wide. They try to send it around, and Jack turns it back behind the net where I believe that's Paul. Briefly had a stick on it. White took it away from him. They're trying to get in the offensive zone. Mason stops him up at the blue line. Shane picks it up. Oh, right in front of the net. Armand's got it covered. It was like, it kind of looked like Shane was just looking for a pass, kind of hanging out there for a beat, right in the slot, which is something that I knew if it had been my son in goal, he would have been a little bit annoyed at. Just get it away from there. No harm, no foul. All right, Zach takes the face off. It comes back to Charlie up off the boards. They try to get a shot off. It hits Zach in the shoulder, and then I think either Tim or Zach hit it up into the safety net, and it bounced off their stick high. So play stops. 11 minutes 3 seconds left in the first. Same line. Zach's out there. Took the drop. Will and Tim on wing. White comes up with possession, does a nice job moving it around, but and getting it back into the zone. Charlie, I think, took it away, hands it back to Will. Tim got it out briefly, but they came back in right away. Shot, Armand blocks it. Charlie tries to send it up and out of the zone, doesn't quite get out. Tim gets possession, hands it up to Will. Will, under pressure, dumps it into the corner and then has to go chase it. He's up against the boards, and I think that's Spencer Tim came in to help. I was like, why is Spencer out there? It's going to come around. White sends it back in the far corner where Charlie will stop it at the point. He tries to drop it to Tim. Defense swoops in, but Zach is right with him, so we ended up getting possession there. All right, Goldie's got it. I think there was Will or possibly Tim tried to get it into the paint. Goalie covered it. Didn't have an angle to really call it a shot. 0-0 on the scoreboard, 9 minutes 53 seconds left in the first. Brian takes the drop, hands it right to Landon. Landon backhands it around the boards, where Brian will pick it up behind the net. Loses an edge, goes down under pressure. Landon comes in. There's a little scuffle there. Tomorrow's Ice had it briefly, and then Brian just took it away from him like it was easy. Tries to pass to Landon, who's not looking the right direction, and it goes past him. Or just couldn't get the stick on it clean. That's Joey. Hands it up to Spencer. Spencer back to the corner. I think past Joey, and I think Landon came in and moved it out to Brian. Brian's struggling to get there. Couldn't quite get there, and comes out. Spencer has to go chase it in the far corner. Under pressure, sends it behind the net. Greg picks it up as he goes through, coming from the other side. Up to Joey. Joey across to Brian. Brian off the boards, 2 players on him. Lets Joey sweep behind him. The 2 of them working as a little tag team here. It's really, pretty nice. Back to Spencer. Spencer off the boards, back to Joey, but it actually went past him. A little too much juice on it. Brian scrambling. Somebody lost a stick there. On the other team. Comes out, and Greg will stop it and neutralize. He's going to turn around and single-handedly drive it in. His teammates are trying to line up. Ends up dumping into the corner kind of unexpectedly, I think, though. Oh! A nice high-angle shot from Landon, bounced off the post and came out. Mason sends it over to where I think he was trying to get to Landon. Landon was busy heading to the bench and wasn't looking. And I think there's a whistle on that one. Maybe, I don't know what the whistle was for. They're going to restart from the spot. The other referee saying, nope, outside the offensive zone. Restart from the spot and neutralize. I don't know what that stoppage of play was about. Sorry about that. Shane took the drop, hands it off to Jack, who headed up deep. Paul's chasing it into the corner, putting some pressure on. One-on-one scuffle there with Jack right behind, hovering on the outside, looking for puck to squirt out. Letting Paul take it. He almost got it out, but third white player came in and got it away from him. It's single-handedly going to skate through our guys. Nice moves on his part. Number 12 in white. Needs to get to the corner where Mason's doing a good job keeping the pressure on. Jack gets the guy up against the boards. The puck squirts out to neutral ice. Tomorrow's Ice will have to move it all the way through into their backfield before they can re-attack. They end up dumping it, head to the bench. Mason will pick it up. Be looking for the long pass, probably to Paul, but nope, he's going to skate it out. Give him the... He'll get across and dump it, head to the bench. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun, second guessing what I think they should do. Long cross from Tomorrow's Ice into the corner where there's nobody, and everybody has to have a little foot race. Shane, nice pass off the boards to Will. Drives it in, can't quite get through the 2 defenders. Bounce it off the boards. Tim coming in. Charlie stops at the blue line. Oh, nope, just going to squirt back out. Bobby picks it up. Pass to Charlie. Good hockey sense, knowing that it was there. You can hear the little tap on the boards, Charlie letting him know that it was there. All right, that's Zach's got the puck in the corner, sends it across to Will. Will gets trips over one of the white players, goes down. Will centering. Oh, Zach tried to shoot it. Went, I think, over the net. Squirts all the way out to the point. Bobby is going to turn around, send it back along the boards. Zach putting some pressure. It'll come out to the point on the far end, the other side, where Charlie will send it back to Zach. Zach getting boarded frequently, putting himself in harm's way. All right, Tomorrow's Ice gets possession there. We're going to shift to defense. The guy gets ahead of his own puck. Does a nice centering pass. Can't get the shot off before, I think that was Charlie, just clobbered him. Bobby, bounce pass off the boards to Will. lets Bobby, who holds a beat and lets Bobby take it. Bobby's got it back by almost behind the net on the boards. It's going to come out. Charlie will have to go chase it down. Pass up to Joey. Joey gets clobbered. Charlie, I can see him like flipping his wrist like, hey, ref, where's the call? All right, Landon, nice moves. Right in the center. Through the paint. Brian couldn't get quite the shot off. I guess the goalie came out. And it was almost a nice backdoor pass there. Tomorrow's Ice ices it. And we'll restart. 4 minutes, 48 seconds left. Score still 0-0, but we've got 7 shots to their 1, so we've definitely been dominating. It's about like we saw yesterday. It was a little bit of a slow start before we started putting points on the board. But we're definitely out-skating these guys, but so far not outscoring them. Brian took the drop, and puck ends up behind the net where Joey will go tap it to Landon. Landon to Greg. Greg, wrister. Goalie deflects it. And then I think that was Joey to Landon who tapped it in. Nice little team hug there. All 5 of the players on the ice. If I read it right, it was Joey to Landon tapped it in. I'm not positive. Certainly Joey passed it into the zone and somebody tapped it in. Score will be 1-0 with 4 minutes, 35 seconds left in the first period. And so our domination begins. I've heard conflicting reports from Luke and from the other parents on whether there's some concern about us making the EJ playoffs. Some people said we just have to win these 2 games, these 2 EJ games this weekend. Others saying we had to win by a lot. Not only win, but by a high point differential, which clearly we did yesterday with a 8-1 victory. All right, there's Brian. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the scores myself, so. Kyle stops at the blue line, drives it in, takes a shot while his teammates are heading to the bench. He and Mason staying out to keep the pressure on. Tomorrow's Ice gets past the red line and dumps it. They're going to all do a line change. Mason picks it up behind Armand's net and lofts it. Tries to do a long pass to Paul, but gets stopped up right in center ice. There's Jack scrambling for possession, gets it into the offensive zone. Came back out again. I think it would have been an offsides call if he'd successfully passed. I think Paul was over the line. Tomorrow's Ice dumps it back behind Armand's net. Mason's going to get there about the same time one of the white players. Paul sends it. There's a deferred penalty. There's the whistle. On both, I think. Shane and this other 80 Webster, 80 White, I think. Offsetting penalties. Concurrent, whatever the right terminology is. We got 3 minutes, 5 seconds left in the first. Score is 1-0. We will resume with 5-on-5 play. Zach will take the drop. Hands it back to Charlie. Charlie gets trips and goes down. And Jack has to take it. I'm sorry, is that Jack or Tim? That's Tim, I'm sorry. Makes more sense. Zach up to Tim. Taps it, and Will has to go chase it down. Gets boarded. Tim snipes it out of there. Tries to get a shot off. It gets deflected up high into the air. Lands in the far corner. Zach picks it up there. Tries to drive into the net. Defense pushes him into the corner. And Tomorrow's Ice will get it. And they're going to try and get it out. Can't quite get it out of the zone where Will gets there along the boards. Tim trying to... And Zach both 3-on-2, 3-on-3, 3-on-4 now. All scrambling to get this puck to move off the boards. A lot of shoving and reaching. Tomorrow's Ice comes up with possession, but has to take it back behind their own net. They get it out of the zone and ice it. Not even really intentionally. I think the guy like swiped at it while he was falling down. But definitely icing call. 2 minutes and 1 second left in the first period. Score is 1-0 Ashburn. We've taken 10 shots to their 1 according to the shot clock, which I don't think is completely accurate. But all right, Brian's taking the drop. Landon and Joey out there on wing. Spencer and Greg on D. Spencer gets in, gets clobbered. Landon and Brian behind. Again, another little scuffle here right at the boards, trying to get that puck away and get clear possession. Comes right through the paint. Armand sticks it away. Wasn't heading into his net, but he gets it out of there. And I thought there was a whistle, but somebody's making noises. It's like twice now I've like heard what I thought was a whistle, but was not an actual whistle. That was Spencer, I believe, or possibly Greg. Long pass up to Landon. There's Joey scrambling. Goalie's on his butt right in front of the net. Puck comes out. Brian centering pass. Cross to the far corner. Brian behind the net. He doesn't need to take it because Jack got it. Hands it back to Brian. Brian tries to skate around, get a shot off. He's a little bit wide of the net as he was off balance. Jack to Paul. Paul handed it into what I think was Greg, got a shot off there. Paul. Back around the net. Spencer will pick it up here in the corner. Tries to hand it back to Jack. He lets it go by him, I think. Tomorrow's Ice going to come up with it. Zach and Spencer are both sort of racing to get there. Zach tries to send it down. He manages to flick it into the bench and play will stop. 16.8 seconds left in the first. We're still up by 1. 1-0. If I step down here, if I'm shooting less through the safety net, that might be, maybe this is a better vantage point. With about 17 seconds left, we will restart here. Shane's taking the face-off. Puck comes back. I think Will might have touched it briefly, but somebody else sent it around. I think Mason sent it around. Kyle and Shane behind Armand's net. It's going to send it around. Will get it. He tries to swipe it out of the zone. It's going to come back, and play will end. Hit the side of Armand's net. And that'll be the end of the first. Here's the offensive parent walk. Crossing through. Will represent. Everyone going to watch their kids score. Moving to the offensive zone. Back before. Oh, there's Keith. I used to do the opposite walk, and I would always pass the offensive to the parents. As I did the goalie shuffle. What's that? Can they hear you? I don't know. I mean, I keep the mic real close to my mouth. So, not while you're talking. I mean, like, they can probably hear you now if I'm, like, looking at you, but, like, I don't think they can hear that.
I'll keep you secret.
Yeah, So what are the secrets that you were divulging during this, during play?
Something to do with chicken farm.
Up on top if you want.
I thought about that because there's like a ladder over there, but I think then I'm shooting through the safety net, so I think that's probably. I don't think it's any better. I mean, I could certainly climb up there, but.
Yeah, they got some steps over there. We can toss.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you probably could. I think this is fine. If anything, I just step down lower so that I'm like shooting below it through the glass. All right, getting ready to start second period here, and waiting on the goalie, who, based on the hair, I'm guessing is female. I'm not positive. like long curly hair. It looked like she was as they were putting their helmet on. Zach takes a face off. Comes back to Kyle. Kyle taps it up to Will, but Will's not looking. He, it's like up in the air. He ends up seeing it, ices it down. It's not icing because he was past the red line, but. All right, there. That's Will. Takes it behind the net. Gets trapped up in the boards. Was another scuffle there. Zach trying to. I wonder if we ever practiced that. In practice, like how to get the puck out from those situations. Be a useful skill. Here's a breakaway. Number 88, Armand reaches and taps it away. I mean, dives to his belly to unexpectedly stick it out. That's a gutsy play that totally worked. 88 seems to be the star, I think, on this other team. It certainly was yesterday. But with that breakaway, Armand really committed. That's Kyle sending it back up long. Landon picks it up. He's driving in, takes a shot too high off the glass and around. Mason will turn it around at the point, sends it back to the corner. Comes back to Mason again. I couldn't see what happened there. I think it was Landon tried to do something. He was certainly the one in the corner. He tries to get it out to the center, but Tomorrow's Ice intercepts it. They're going to get it out and dump it. Bobby picks it up in the corner. He's going to he starts to skate it back out, and then decides he'll dump it as well. That will, it's skittering along. Tomorrow's Ice picked it up before across the red line. No icing call. I think that already, referee had waved off the icing. One of these days I will figure out, I swear, what the details of those rules are, because sometimes it's not what I expect it to be. All right, so that's Joey trying to put some pressure on Tomorrow's Ice player who's got the possession, but it's deep in their own zone. Charlie stops it at point and had to come off. I mean, if it was out of the zone, Charlie's obviously unhappy about that icing call. I'm sorry, offsides call, not icing. It looked to me like it did come out, but I mean by spare inches, but I think it came out. You could tell he did not think so. He's like, what? What did I do? Shane takes a drop. Scramble there. Up. Tomorrow's Ice comes up with possession. But Shane takes it away from him as he got kind of bumped on the side. Nice teamwork there. Someone. Shane turns it around at the point. And Paul comes in to swipe it. Gets it away from the guy. He doesn't have possession. That's Paul scrambling for it. As he got trapped on the boards, puck came out, and White turned it around. They had to get past Charlie. Charlie kept him in the corner. They had a nice long shot, came back out, and here's Jack across to Charlie. Charlie with some speed. Tries to pass into the center, gets boxed by the defense. Going to come back out, backhanded by Shane. Wide of the net. Tomorrow's Ice sends it around. Shane will pick it up there, tries to send it to Spencer at point, but Spencer's not on the boards, and it gets past him. It's all right. They'll recover, reset. Spencer hands it to Greg. Greg will skate it in. Gets to the corner. Couldn't get a clean shot. Defense was doing their jobs on the White defense, that is. I'm not sure Greg was doing his job since he's defense, and he was definitely moving an offensive play there, but doing it well. Spencer, long wrister through the paint. Zach's going to go chase there. It's going to come back to Spencer. Spencer, another one. Goalie punches it aside, or kicks it aside. Tomorrow's Ice gets it long to neutralize, but then they just pass it to Spencer. Should probably not pass to the other team. Spencer hands up to Will, who backhands it off the boards, turns it around. They send it back. Tomorrow's Ice is doing a line change. Greg sends it long to Will, who snaps it into the corner. We're now doing our line change. Brian, real pressure on him. It was almost right as Tim hopping over the boards. I thought there was going to be a too many men situation for a second there, but it wasn't. Mason tries to turn it around. Puck's bouncing, and Joey has to kind of scramble a little bit there. He gets possession, tries to hand it up to Brian. The puck's still bouncing, goes over a stick. There's Joey to Mason. Mason up to Landon. Landon just taps it, tries to get to Brian, but it's still moving, bouncing too much. Kyle sends it crisp to Brian, who I think is trying to get a shot off. He's a little bit wide. Didn't have any teammates there to tip it for him. Comes out to off Landon stick to Kyle. Kyle turns it around. Joey in the corner. Joey sends it around the boards. Tomorrow's Ice stops it. They're going to try and drive through. Can't get around Kyle. I mean, tried to do a little bounce pass off the boards, but that did not fake him out. Comes back. Mason will pick it up this time. Skates behind Armand's net. Up to Landon. Landon lets it go by. Number 1, Chin. White will do some pretty decent skating as Brian chases him, but without a whole lot of avail. There, number 4 just dumps it into the corner, goes around back behind the net. Oh, they had a nice centering pass there. They had a brief chance of actually scoring. Shane just ices it. He's been a little bit more accurate. It could have been on net, but either way, it gave a chance to breathe a little bit. Looks like we got some of the defense changing out there. 9 minutes, 6 seconds left. Score still 1-0. Shane takes the drop, hands it back off to... Tries to send it to Bobby, who passes it to Jack. Jack along the boards. Bobby backs him up. They successfully get into the offensive zone. I guess I just heard the buzzer on the other rink, so maybe that was where I was hearing those whistles earlier that were confusing me. We don't have enough sound isolation between the two rinks. Paul stops it at the point, takes a shot, goalie gloves it, and holds it. Play will stop. Yeah, I can hear the music from the other rink. I think that's Shane with the face-off. Tries to hand it to Paul, but Tomorrow's Ice comes up with it. They end up sending it around the boards where Jack will fight for it in the corner. 2-on-1 now. Paul hovering on the outside, waiting for it to squirt out. Tomorrow's Ice does a nice 2 successful passes. And then they just dump it to the corner where Shane will get there first. I guess they haven't figured out that we're faster than they are. Slap shot. Hits his own... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I think it hit Charlie in the crotch. Or maybe it's one of the white players. I'm not sure which. Paul drives it into the zone with some little extra speed there. Does some fancy moves. Tries to get a shot off. It gets hit up high and gloved down. I think that's Shane. Sends it around the boards. Will briefly had it, and Tomorrow's Ice will dump it to the corner. There's Charlie driving right through the center. Tries to get a shot off, gets stick in the way from the other team. This guy just clobbers Shane, who goes down hard. He's not getting up. Oh, he's getting up slow. They did not stop play for him. He's going to head to the bench, I think. Nice long crisp pass. Defense, Armand. Either Armand or Charlie got it away. I couldn't see too many people in front of me there. They got it briefly in the slot, and Tim got it away from him. He's looking for a teammate. Like, who have I got to back me up? Gets it in, tries to shoot. Defense stops him. Will. A little foot race here with Bobby, putting some pressure on. Trying to play that puck. Zach picks it up, hands it to Will at the point. Tomorrow's Ice comes out, has to wait for a beat while their players get clear. Bobby sends it long. It's skittering. Will tries to get there. Spencer turns it around. We're going to have to get off. It's going to be an icing call probably. Slow thing where Will was all the way in the back when the icing happened. Zach passes it through the paint, just about. Goalie off balance. Either Will couldn't get the shot off or goalie might have tipped it away. From this angle, I couldn't tell for sure. That was Will on the boards, primarily. Zach and Tim there, where we can't see very well because of the glass. Comes out to Greg. Greg's got it. Sends it across to Spencer, who flubs it a little bit. And Greg has to come say that their shot is wide, or possibly Greg tipped it away. Greg picks it up at the blue line. He's going to skate in, looking for a shot, drops it to Landon. Landon hands it back to Greg. It's going to come back out to Joey at point. Joey off the boards to Landon. Brian coming in from the other side. Gets it right into the paint where Joey could not quite get a shot off. Nice plan, but puck squirts out. Spencer has to go chase it. I thought he was going to stop at the blue line, but he didn't quite get there in time. Greg tried to take it in. They got away from him. Spencer backed him up. Brian drives it in with Joey right behind him. Brian passed to Joey. He tries to center it to Landon. And after on second try, the goalie covers it. Today's broadcast brought to you by, as always, by coffee. Coffee, the magical drink. Keeps America's economy going. Zach takes a drop, hands it to Paul. Paul skates it, drives it behind the net, under pressure the whole way, but keeps control. Backhands it off the boards to Jack. Jack sends it back behind the net the other direction. Zach keeping control of the puck. Oh, eventually loses an edge. I think they're going to call tripping, possibly. So we will have an Ashburn power play as Disguy, you can see skating to the bench, number 2, Emery or something like that on his jersey. Oh, I thought there was going to be a 2 and 10 or something because there was somebody else skating the bench, but no, just a nice clean tripping play. 4 minutes 17 seconds left. We're up by 1-0 in the second period. We'll have 2 minutes of power play. Mason to Kyle. Kyle sends it into the net through a mess of players. Scramble, goalie's off balance. Eventually covers it. I couldn't even see what was happening there. So many people stand between me and the puck. Play stops, and we will have 1 minute 47 seconds, so we ate up 13 seconds of our power play there. This is probably a bunch of shots there. I'm not really positive. Just a mess of players scrambling. All right, Zach to Jack to Kyle. Tomorrow's Ice got possession, and Zach will try to take it away from, but he gets kind of stick tangled up with one of the other players. I can't see where the puck is. There we go. There's Zach right in front of us here. Dumps it back behind the net. Zoli comes out to try to play it. Paul shoving, scrambling. Paul and Zach both. They successfully get it past Mason and along the boards. Kyle will chase it. He's going to send it around. Mason will pick it up in the near side here. He's going to drive it in. Kyle to Tim coming off and takes a shot. Goalie will glove it. Catch and hold. You got 49 seconds left of the power play. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left in the period. Brian takes the face off, hands it back to Charlie. Charlie pass across to Will. His hands it back to Tim in the slot. Comes back to Charlie at the point. Charlie, slap shot. Wide. Will picks it up close here. Little scramble look for possession. Brian's there in the corner. Will got a little backhanded shot. Goalie punched it away. Goalie's way out of position. Puck comes squirting out, and we will have to shift. They successfully get around Bobby and kind of Charlie, but I think we're off balance when number 4 tried to take the shot, and it wasn't even close to being on net. Bobby picks it up. Long pass to Brian. Nice crisp connection. Hands it back to Will, to Bobby. Bobby in the slot to Brian. Gets a shot off the goalie's pads. That's, I think, Will sent it around to Charlie again. It's going to come out, bouncing all the way down, and Armand will let it go by. It'll be icing. We're back to full strength, or they are back to full strength. Minute 57 seconds left in the second period. Score is still 1-0. If it does turn out that we had to win this by a lot, we're not putting huge points up on the board. Definitely dominating. It's been 25 shots to 3, but Tomorrow's Ice defense has done a decent job here, or maybe our offense hasn't been as. Zach to Spencer. Spencer, wrister, gets kind of knocked away by one of the defense's players. And I think that was Joey just put it in off of something from Zach, I believe. I have to go back. It was definitely Joey put it in. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not sure who sent it into the paint for him to tip it in. But the score will be 2-0. Here I was saying we're not doing enough to put some points up, and there we go. Maybe I should criticize them more. I admit to the not really necessarily being qualified to criticize these kids because they've spent so much more time playing hockey than I ever have. All right. There's Greg. Drives it in. Looking for something. Tries to move it take it around behind the net and pass it into the paint where he had several teammates waiting. Landon going after it behind the net. Can't quite get it. He picks it up as it comes out, and he dumps it in. I think that's almost single-handed Landon. All right. Now we're putting some points on the board. Three to nothing. 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the second period. Number 88 unassisted, as far as I can tell. Of course, check the score sheet later for the officials. They're the ones who really know. We're actually trained for this. Brian takes the drop, hands it to Jack. Jack tries to hit it into the zone, but Tomorrow's Ice came with possession. Here's Jack along the boards, hands it to Brian. Brian tries to backhand it, gets tangled up in the legs of one of the other players. He ends up trying to send it across. Tomorrow's Ice hits it out to Kyle. Kyle across to Mason. Mason flicks it, gets past the red line and just dumps it. Lets his teammates pick it back up. It's going to come back out to him again. He almost loses it. Maybe that was a nice fake out, I'm not sure. He took a shot, pad save. Kyle sends it in. Oops, I got to move out of the way here. Got a player coming through in a wheelchair. Paul stops it along the boards, tries to turn it around. That's Brian. He's kind of tangled up with two of the white players. It's going to come out. Mason almost right in the slot. Tries to get a shot off. Went right through the legs of one of the white players, but couldn't get clean. Brian hits to Kyle. Kyle tries to slap it. It pops up off somebody's stick high. Brian gloves it out of the air. Kyle got one last attempt at a shot. Oh, there's a scuffle there. I'm looking at the I don't know what was going on there. Paul involved in a scuffle. Looked like he was not fighting back. The white players just clobbered him. And their goalie was right there, so maybe he had crashed into the goal end. And players often get quite defensive if you fuss with their goalies. So I'm not... officials are... They're going to put... officials are scrambling, trying to decide what to do. I can't hear that. I can't hear them, but from one, of course, I looked away, looking at the scoreboard, right as it happened. So, but by the time I looked back, they were shoving and grabbing onto Paul, and I didn't see him fighting back at all. So, I don't. Be curious if there's a penalty on that one. So, as we go into the third period, Armand's still in net, which is as I thought would be. I wasn't anticipating Lucha play. I did speculate that sometimes there's 3 games, and especially considering Armand played the same team yesterday, I thought there might be a chance the coach might split them. But Zach takes face off Tim and Paul, I believe, on wing. Charlie and Bobby on D. Zach hands it back to Charlie. He hands it back up to Zach. Will, oh sorry, it was not Paul, it was Will out there on as the other wing. I could see the 5 on the jersey. It was on the far side. Here's Tim holding it, just sends it into the corner. Charlie turns it around. Fade back here a little bit so I can... Bobby on the far side dumps it in. White picks it up behind the own net. They're going to send it out. Charlie turns it around, sends it back to Will at the far side. Will, who will immediately dump it. Zach in the corner. Tim hovering outside. Will and Tim both behind the net. Now sort of 2-on-2 scramble along the boards. Looks like Will came up with it. It's going to send it out to Charlie at point. Charlie crossed to Bobby. Sends it right into the slot, but his teammates can't get a stick on it. This guy, number 20, gets it in. They do some nice passing and get a shot off. Armand saves it twice, maybe 3 times there. It was pad save the first time, and then I think he kind of gloved it but didn't get possession, and then he eventually got his glove around it. Nice goaltending, Armand. It was nice crisp passing on the Tomorrow's Ice team. I mean, they just moved it through our guys. Good puck sense for a change. All right, Joey up to Landon. Landon goes down to the corner, and there's a penalty on that one. Landon and... Oh, there's some more fighting. Oh, the referee lost an edge and went down on top of these guys. Looks like Landon's going to the box. Along with the Tomorrow's Ice player. So Paul and Landon both in the box. So Paul did end up, I guess, in the box after that, at that little scuffle at the end. There's also 2... So we got 2 white players, 2 red players in the box, presumably for those 2 fracases. Both teams still at full strength. Brian will take the drop. Smart as Ice does a nice job getting it up, but Spencer will get there first. Takes it all the way behind Armand's net, around the boards with some speed. Does not pass it, drives it all the way in, tries to backhand it, goalie kicks it away. Spencer ends up getting his own rebound, takes it behind the net, then he passes to Greg at point, who sends it a little bit wide of the net. Can't see who was there. There's Greg coming in on this side. Goes down hard after the puck. Number 88, Woodson, or something. I think that was Greg took him out. No, I'm sorry, it was somebody else. Mason's out there too. Greg and Mason both. They're not usually out on the ice together. The twin 40 numbers sometimes hard to see the jerseys. All right, nice backhanded pass from Brian to Joey. Back to Brian, who got the little backhanded shot. Goalie covered it. Nice playing. I mean, like, didn't put a point on the board, but it was nice way the two of them knew right where each other was. Even like slightly off balance, skating backwards, backhanded passes. Got it connected and got it right into the paint. All right, there's Kyle getting there first on defensive, pans it up to Zach. Zach skating right through, looking for a pass to the center, gets stopped by the defense, ends up going behind the net. Zach will pick up his own rebound there, or it's not even really a rebound. There's Will. Tim hovering out, looking for to tip it in. Let's see, I'm going to fade away from the glass here so I can. All right, Will, under pressure, loses it, but and last second dumps it to the corner. He tried to get another shot off, but couldn't quite get there. They try to get a shot off. Mason sticked it away. It comes up sliding off into no man's land, where Tim gets there about the same time as number 1 White. Mason really putting some juice on there. Skates it right into the paint, tries to get a shot off goalie, keeps him from putting it in. They try to pass it out. Brian intercepts that. Looks for the pass. Gets across to Jack. Jack takes it behind the net, looking for a pass up. Sends it along to Kyle, who has to reach to get it, but he does it. His hands across to Bobby. He's clear. Bobby, wrister, gets it into the paint. There's a scuffle. Goalie, people standing all on top of the goalie. Eventually squirts out. Comes back to Kyle. Back to Bobby again. Bobby, wrister. This time he finds it. Finds a hole. 4-0. 10 minutes, 30 seconds left in the third period. I couldn't see if one of his teammates tipped it. There was like 6 players standing there in the slot. But nice passing around. Kyle to Bobby. Like a couple tries there. Zach will take the face off. Joey and Landon. Zach handed it to Joey. He got across to Landon, who lost possession when he got in real close to the net on defense. Zach, shot, and it's in. 5-0.
Joey needs one more to get ahead. One more for Joey. No, I think he needs one more.
That was. I'm pretty sure that was Zach. Yeah. All right, Zach, Joey, and Landon out there. I guess with all the players in the box, that's not a usual line. Joey across to Landon, back to Joey. There's Zach. Up to Charlie. Shot. And it's in. I think it got tipped by probably Joey, but Charlie definitely had the slap shot. I'm not sure if it was... It was Landon? So, tipped. So, 6-0. 10 minutes and 1 second left in the third period. I think there's a timeout. I think it's a timeout.
What happened out there? Oh, when they go check.
We will have a timeout here in the third period. I think tomorrow's ice. Busy schedule next weekend up in New York. I can't even remember. I meant to look ahead and figure out and advertise those, but I guess I should schedule those streams. Usually I'm scrambling the morning of. There's really no reason I can't do them well in advance. So, timekeeper sounding the horn to tell everybody, all right, your timeout's over. Time's up on the timeout. Looks like all four of the players who were involved in the scuffles earlier look like they're out of the box. Brian takes face off. It's going to come back to Spencer. Spencer loses it, edge, and goes down. There's a whistle on that one. Refs are smiling at each other. I'm not sure what the... I didn't see quite what happened there. I did see Spencer on D was trying to get the puck away and ended up just rolling on his back. Lost his stick in the process. All right, there's Brian took the face-off, came to Kyle, crossed to Mason, back up to the offense. That's Brian took it in. I heard it cling off the post. I think he was a little high angle there. That's Mason, try to get a shot off. It's going to come back to Mason. Again, Mason loses an edge. Goes down from the ground, slaps it back to keep it in play. Will reaching for it. Scramble, goalie's out of position. They're trying to do something there. Got a little Tim. Hands it back to Mason. Mason wrists it high. Kyle sends it back to Will. It's going to come out into the neutral ice. Kyle stops it there. Sends it in towards the net. Goalie does a nice job flicking it up. And there's a whistle. High sticking on somebody's part. Presumably on us. All right. Zach taking the face off. Greg and Spencer. On D. Paul way on the far side. I'm not sure what that was. For the drop, I mean, he was the complete opposite side of the rink. Oh, that's hit on Zach. That's a clean hit, but... Alright, so scuffle there. Jack hit it up, I think, off the goalie's shoulder or something. It went up high into the net. Score still 6-0, 8 minutes, 23 seconds. Maybe you can see that on the board. Left in the third. Zach will take the face off. Paul and Jack out there with him. Paul picks it up after the drop. They have to get past. They got possession. They try and get past Charlie. He sticks him off into the corner. It's going to shoot across to Jack. Jack's looking for a pass, looking to skate, trying to figure out what to do. Drives it all the way in himself into the corner. Tries to center it. It's going to come back out, and Charlie and Bobby both race right through the middle. Had to. Bobby passed it to Charlie. It popped up off his stick and hit either Brian or Landon, I think, who were on the bench at the time in the face mask. I could see it pop up and hit somebody's helmet. As a result, they get to come out and play. All right, there's Brian took the drop, got back to Charlie and somebody else there. Brian's got it in the corner. He's scrambling for it. Landon sent a nice center to Joey. Got a shot off. Got deflected up high into the safety net, and play will stop. 7 minutes, 36 seconds left. Score still 6-0. Brian takes the drop, and it's going to come out to Bobby. Turns it around. He kind of just slapped it in. He has to go chase it because it just hit it to one of the other players. Bobby will get there in the corner. He keeps his feet while tomorrow's ice player goes down hard. They're looking to see if he's going to get up, and he's not. He's getting up real slow. They're letting that play go as he comes off. Brian shot, goalie kicks it away into the corner. Landon tries to hand it back to Brian. Takes it in the corner, hands it back to Landon. Landon gets shoved from behind, hands it back to Charlie. Charlie sends it into the slot, but goalie kicked it away. It's like right through Brian's legs, I think, as he tried to turn it around. Landon to Joey. Where's the puck? There's the puck. Tomorrow's Ice got it. They're turning around, and they're going to. Number 88 tries to skate through. He can't get past Kyle and Charlie at the same time. That's just not happening. We got it back there. They try to turn around. Brian stops it at the point. Comes back out. Kyle takes a wrister from neutral ice, and goalie will catch and hold with 6 minutes, 19 seconds left in the third period. Score still 6-0. I think they're bringing it back that it was possibly a intentional ice or offsides call. Since that's the only thing I can think of why they're bringing it all the way back here. Zach takes the drop, hands it back to Mason, sends it around the boards to where Tim will pick it up. Tim off the boards, tries to get it up to, I think it was intended for Zach, but White stopped it. Zach trying to hand it up to Will. Eventually successful. Will backhands it along into the corner there. Yeah, let's call it a corner even though it's round. All right, it's going to come back out. Kyle, slap shot into the goalie's glove. (6-0) on the scoreboard. 47 shots to 5. 5 minutes, 52 seconds left in the third period. Puck spinning through back behind Brian after the drop. Spencer sent it over to Paul, who's flicked it to the corner. Brian goes by, then hands it off to Jack, who ends up somehow gets slapped around the other side. There's a long icing, and goes past Armand's net. We're going to come back to restart that one. 5 minutes, 29 seconds left to play. Brian ready for the drop. Jack and Paul out there with him. Puck skitters back behind the net where White picks it up. Paul swoops in from the other side. Oh, Brian, nice backhands it right through the paint. And Jack couldn't quite react fast enough, I think, to tip it in. He was right there. Brian hands up to Jack, got a shot off, goalie sticked it away. Jack's got it, and Paul scuffling behind the net. Brian comes out. It's hard to describe even. There's so much changing hands here. Paul to Brian, who tried to put it in. Up. Goalie went down. I think there's a. They send in Brian to the box. Penalty on Brian. Not sure what that was for. And we got too many people on the ice now. Alright, so Landon just skated off the ice. Bobby's taking the face off. Hands back to Charlie. Charlie. Long off the boards. Intended for Bobby, I think, but he let it go by and let Joey take it. Tomorrow's ice, again, on. They have a power play. Sends it in front of Armand's net. He lets it go by. Bobby off the boards. Long to Joey. One player between him. He sends it into off the goalie's pads. Picks up his own rebound behind the net. Lets White take it. He's waiting in front of the net to see which way the guy's going to go. They successfully pass it out. Take a shot, Armand. Easy pad save. Charlie tries to send it around the boards. There's a 2-on-1 there. They're kind of dropping up his stick. Will tries to get a stick on it. Again, with the man advantage, they're struggling a little bit. Armand sticks it away. Bobby picks up possession, tries to get around the boards. Can't quite because they're just double teaming him, which I guess you can do. Pops up high. Armand punches it out of the air. There's another shot, and Armand has it. Nice. Tomorrow's Ice do seem to be effectively using their man advantage suddenly during this penalty. They've gotten more shots off. I mean, it was like they held 5 shots in the whole game up to this point. Now they've got 9, so either right guys are. Of course, not all those shots were credible. Of course, not all of our shots, our 50 shots, were credible either. That's Kyle, sends it up off the boards. Jack will go race this guy, number 1. It's that penalty down by the goal. All right, I'm sorry, somebody was asking why is Brian in the box? That's Jack. Sends it around. Oh, sorry, Tim and Jack both saw the 50 on the jersey. Tim handed it to Jack. Tomorrow's Ice. Penalties over. Zach. Brian's out of the box. And Zach came out. Zach handed it to Tim, who got a shot off. Goalie stopped it. Kyle Rister gets slapped down by Zach, but still hits the goalie. Paul hands it around back behind. I couldn't really see what happened there. I'm sorry. Zach putting some pressure on Tim behind him, trying to get a shot off. It gets just somebody sitting on him and a stick. 2 of them going down. Long bouncing icing call. Oh. Minute 58 left to play. Score still 6-0. Will lines up for the face-off. Takes his own puck after the drop. It's right in front of the slot. We couldn't get a shot off. Tomorrow's Ice picks it up. Joey just does a nice job keeping the guy boxed up. Greg Loses an edge, but picks himself right back up. Hands it up. Will takes it. He's going to drive in. They stick it away from him. He has to go chase it. Battles for game possession. Comes back out to Spencer. Spencer off the boards back to Will. Will is trying to skate through, looking for an opportunity there. Gets it into the paint. Goalie will cover it, and it's whistled dead. Minute 23 left to play. Kieran Sullivan, Caps Academy goalie. Hey, Kieran. And my neighbor lives down the street from me. Brian takes the drop, hands back to Paul. Paul hits it off the boards into the corner. Brian will pick it up there. Gets it back to Paul. Paul drives it in, tries to take a shot. Goalie punches it wide, I think. It's going to come back out. Bobby picks it up, neutralized. Crosses to Charlie. Charlie, a little fancy stick handling it through the defense. Or through the... Are they really defense? Alright, Paul picks it up neutral ice. Brian's right next to him. Lets him take it. They turn it around, but Brian, being right behind him, picks up the puck. He sends it right through the paint. Jack can't get a clean stick on it. Bobby picks it up. There's a shot by Brian. It's going to come back out. Bobby races to get there, as does Jack. And there's going to be icing. Tomorrow's Ice just hit it away. 26.9 seconds left. Score 6-0. Paul's mom yelling at him. Zach takes the drop. Joey and Landon out there with them on offense. Kyle and Mason on D for what might be the last play. That was Joey tried to get a shot. I think it's trapped on the side of the net. They've whistled it dead.
There's just a one-on-one.
20.1 seconds. Zach will take the drop, so that was not the last play. I thought it probably wouldn't be, but you never know. Zach tries his patented spin move, which almost works. Maybe it does work. Mason, backhand, tried to get to Landon, did not work. It's going to come long. Kyle races to get there. He gets there about the same time as the white player. Landon takes it. They're going to try to get a shot off, and that will be... There's a whistle right there at the end, but that's the end of the game. Next games are up in New York next weekend. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I'm happy to do it. We will... parents ducking to get out of the view. As if they're not, I don't want to get the parents. At this point, the players are just doing their thing. Handshakes. For a team that got clobbered, thank you, Tomorrow's Ice, for hosting us. Let's see the Caps Academy coming from the other side. And we will... So we'll see you next week. Don't do anything I wouldn't enjoy. Don't forget to be awesome. And this concludes our broadcast weekend. Drive safe.